it's been 15 months since I last filmed a vlog from this park, and there's multiple reasons for that, which we'll probably find out today and I'll get into. But yeah, I'm back at Alton Towers, which I can't quite believe. I've been a couple of times this year, but I haven't vlogged it because I haven't been with Josh and Danielle and just didn't think it was worth it, to be honest. I did actually film a review of Nemesis Reborn months ago, which I haven't uploaded yet, which pretty much sums up my thoughts of this park at the moment. I do actually enjoy Nemesis Reborn, I'll give Towers for that. I know I've slagged that ride off a lot in the past, but I do enjoy it, as we'll get onto later when we hopefully do get to ride it, subject to this park's rather questionable ride availability, I have to say. I've had to book the ride access pass to today, and I've already done several videos on this channel sharing my thoughts about how much of a disgusting system I think this whole pre-booking thing is. Months in advance. In fact, I'm not 100% sure. I know I posted about it on my personal Twitter account for those of you who follow that, but I'm pretty sure I've actually booked and visited Efteling since booking the ride access pass for today to be able to come. It's Saturday the 28th of September today, and I believe I booked the ride access pass for today on something like the 11th of August. It was a long while ago, because I did check my emails before coming just so I could clarify. Like, that is how ridiculous it is and how long we're having to pre-book in advance. But hopefully we're going to have somewhat a decent day today. As many of you know, this is not my favourite park in the country at all. I think Pleasure Beach and Thorpe are leagues above it, but it can be a fun place when the mood is right and the sun's out, as it is today. That's always an advantage. So yeah, we're going to take you around today, share all the latest updates, talk a bit about ride availability as well, talk about the ride access pass queues depending on how long they are today and whether I think the pre-booking system is actually making a difference. But yeah, that's all for now, and I'll speak to you when we get to our first ride. Okay, so we've just been on Wicker Man, and I mean, there's worse family coasters on there, but I've just got back from Efteling, and I'm not very impressed, guys, after doing Joris and the Drac, the dueling coaster they got there, the fire and water, or whatever it is in Dutch, because, yeah, Wicker Man feels slow, it feels pretty forceless, and it doesn't give that much airtime. It tries its hardest, but, yeah. I've done Woden as well ages ago. Woden's the best one I've done, that's incredible. And then Joris and the Drac's pretty good, and Wicker Man's just like, it's mid, is the best way to describe Wicker Man. Theming's nice, but I don't know what they were thinking when they designed the coaster, because like Joris, first drop, and then you're up like into triple airtime hills and it's mental. And then Wicker Man, you just got some twists and a couple of bunny hills here and there. It's okay. There's worse family coasters, as I said, including in this park, but we'll probably get to that later. But it's just like getting on it's a faff though, and I don't like that. You got the pre-show and the room's too small, they're trying to cram people in, so they're spending ages doing that, and then like it creates a gap in the queue. It just run better if they just had like a rolling pre-show like this. And then you got the assigned seating, which I don't like, but that's a different issue in itself. That felt like it was holding up the queue today as well. I don't know what was going on.
They were just looking for like groups of two, because
it's just like, for God's sake, just let us go in the air gates. And like, we got front row as well. That didn't help. Morning ride. Who knows, maybe we'll get a second ride on it later, probably not, but...
I mean, it was running good for a morning ride too.
It didn't feel like it to me, so... Whether that's just because I've ridden a better...
I don't know if that's because...
It felt really slow to me, it felt like it was crawling round, but there you go, Wicker Man, those are my thoughts. When I first did it, I loved it, because I'd never done a wooden coaster like it, but now... It's probably one of the worst wooden coasters I've ever done, to be honest, even if it does, you know, it does look nice, but that's about it. And now for what is actually a pretty good dart ride, Curse at Alton Manor.
It's a pretty good time, actually.
Not done it since I last came in May. Yeah, it has literally been that long, and it's literally just reopened. I think for the first time today. So yeah, we're nearly there now, so I'll probably put you away and share my review afterwards. I've heard it's had some reliability issues later, but we'll see what all the fuss is about, shall we?
5 minutes later.
Well, as you might be able to tell, we're going on Curse again, which means like that was enjoyable. It's not to the standard of like the dark rides at Efteling. The main issue is dark space. And what was broken, Danielle?
The trommel, and I think one of the doors towards the end with a jump scare.
Yeah, that needs to be working, the trommel. But the start's impressive, the ending's impressive with the big Emily head effect. But like the middle section's a bit questionable in places with dark space and stuff. But I like it. Hence we're going around again. And it's also like walk on. Second ride on Curse complete, guys. And we're here now. There's some construction fences kind of blocking it, but let's see if we can peek. Yeah, guys, there's going to be the copying survival games at Fort Park here, but basically there's going to be a new maze for Scarefest called the Compound. I don't know whether we'll get to do it or not, but yeah, which means yeah, it's going to be Phalanx themed. I wish it was Curse themed because we already have Subterra with like actors in as like a kind of scare experience, but either way, like it should be good. Like it's going to be a new thrill maze, and yeah, but yeah, it's probably, I'm guessing it, you know, with it being like survival games, you're going to get shoved in cages, dragged from behind. I'm spoiling it now, I'm sorry if like I am, but for those of you not done survival games, but yeah, and then you're going to go through loads of Phalanx themed rooms. But like imagine like if Emily Alton was dragging you from behind, like through the flaps at the back of the cage. Like I don't know, I just think it'd be better, it'd be more unique. I'd love a Curse maze because like I think like it just would suit, like that theme would suit a scare maze perfectly. Alright, so we've done a couple of rides since I last spoke to you. First of all, we did Nemesis Subterra, and shout out to one of the staff up there. She was quite funny because, you know, I was saying like it would suit Fort Park a ride like this, a scare experience, and then she was saying like Alton Towers, you know, it's better than Fort, better than Chessington and Legoland as well, because obviously they're all owned by the same company. And yeah, 2 minutes later we get told, oh by the way, the ride's on reduced capacity. When we get to the actual like drop tower shafts, if you know you know, of the ride, there's only 2 of them in operation, and one of the seats, 3, sorry, yeah, I'm getting my maths wrong. 3 of them in operation, but one of the seats of them was not in operation. So there's only 29 out of 40 seats in that tube. And when the ride's already low capacity as it is, it's just not good enough. Like, that ride reopened a year ago after being closed for 8 years. The fact that that was closed for 8 years in the first place is a disgrace on previous management's part, because it's a brilliant attraction at the park. But if you're going to reopen it, at least maintain the upkeep of it. Like 11 seats off, it's not great at all. You know, that's such low capacity. No wonder it has a 35-minute queue when touch wood. The park's not been too bad in terms of crowd levels for a Saturday. And then when we get to the lifts after that to go back up, the floors in them weren't working and there was no action in the end, so I was a bit disappointed with that run from Nemesis Subterra. It was pretty poor, especially compared to the one I had in May, where the staff were like shouting a lot more, being in character a lot more, and there was an actor at the end who was like getting in people's faces and stuff. Like, it wasn't too great, that. It's a shame that one of my favourite rides on park isn't being really cared for that well at all. But on a more positive note, we've just had a front row ride on Nemesis Reborn. I said before, I've not really shared my opinions of Nemesis Reborn on this channel yet. I will get the review out soon that I filmed like 2 months ago and I've uploaded. Yeah, I love Nemesis Reborn. I can't believe I'm saying positive things about Nemesis. Old Nemesis was an absolute rough pile of rubbish. This Nemesis is way smoother. Like the retrack, they've done a really good job. I love all the theming upgrades, including that behind me, the van and stuff, and like just like the fact that the creature's now alive. I'll put some B-roll up now. Like you get the smoke when it goes through 0G roll. It's just brilliant what they've done. If you asked me in 2022, I would have said scrap the thing, because you know I wasn't a fan of it back then. But like, I do still think it's a valuable asset to this park, Nemesis, and you have to be careful what you wish for in terms of new rides. So I think retrospectively they did the right thing refurbishing that, and I really enjoy it, especially on front now. It's still not as good as Inferno. What, John? I thought you said something.
I said he's not feeling well. He's being positive.
He's not feeling well.
It's still not as good as Inferno, but it's quite a bit better than it used to be. It's well in my top 10 UK coasters now. Not in my top 5 or 3 or anything. I know like people murder me for that, but I don't give a damn because that's just my honest thoughts on it. Like, it's still overhyped to hell, but it's a decent ride now. That, like, you know, it's brilliant that we have that at this park, and like, fair play to like Bianca and stuff as well for doing such a good job overhauling it and breathing new life into it. I know like the campaign to get more money from Merlin and stuff to do like the theming to the level they've done, and that is why I dislike Merlin attractions. We've had a good day today, but like when there's stuff like this, guys, check out my videos at the end of this, like I'll link them, but this sign should not be here, get it in the bin. Well guys, we've just had our dinner. There's been this Oktoberfest on, and as you know, Philnop's not a massive fan of Oktoberfest. What I will say though, did I even, no I don't think, was I vlogging the Daily Watch Blackpools this year?
No, I don't think
I'd actually say this was better than the Bavarian Stompers. Right, it's the single one, so I've not obviously watched the entire like 3 hours worth of these shows, but yeah, it was alright. There was a decent song selection. Yeah, they could have got away with just having this in the summer season, so you know, it was bearable to listen to. No idea what he sounds like Justin Fletcher, this guy. I'll give you a listen for a second.
And I'm like, oh my god, I agree.
From CBeebies. Like, bloody hell, Alton Towers. CBeebies. Oh my word, it's so zoomed in. The CBeebies sing-along show ended weeks ago.
Hello, I'm Justin.
The only thing is, like, if you've seen my 2022 vlog when it was Oktoberfest on, you'll know there was Darwin the Dodo. There was a Darwin the Dodo show that we found quite funny. They've got rid of him this year.
Singing Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah, yeah. Check out the vlog from I got stung by a wasp that day as well. We've also done Galactica since I last spoke to you outside Nemesis, and that was only on 1 station for a little while. It's been in a bit of a state this year, that ride. But they did actually put it on 2 for once. Like, it was an absolute miracle when we were in the queue, so that's good. But yeah, the ride is in such a state. Like, Eve audio was on today. Like, you've got this Eve character who like does like a little bit of like a pre-show before you get on. But the screen wasn't on. Like, I think there's a lot of screen on for Eve down there.
Yeah, it's like one of them little screens by the air.
So the ride's just in a bit of a general state. Like, Towers, it needs some money shucking into it from Merlin so that they can just do some upkeep on these rides, because yeah, like, there's been a lot of talk this year about bad ride availability. Touch wood, so far today it's actually been alright for Towers standards, but a lot of people have had bad experiences here, and just general TLC on the rides as well. I spoke about Subterra before. Yeah, we have actually had lunch, which means it's time for FastFoodNet. Hello and welcome back to FastFoodNet, bringing you everything fast food related in the UK and beyond via the internet. Today at Alton Towers we had only one of the viable food options out there that's not disgusting like Aramark stuff. Watch my vlog from last year to find out more about Aramark, but yeah, had a nice rollover hot dog. There's the empty packet. Nice big sausage in there. It's actually nicer than some of the rollover hot dogs now. I'll say that, like, as I said in my Efteling vlog, which will be out when this comes out. It's coming out on Monday. It's the... What is it, the 28th today? It'll be out on the 30th, yeah. I should have it ready by then. Yeah, they had some gorgeous hot dogs. It wasn't to that standard, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Next we're on to Danielle. What did you have?
I had a lovely cheese sandwich and some carrot sticks in here, and a lovely Vimto drink. Rated 10 out of 10.
Hey.
Yeah, same. I had cheese sandwiches and some, like, I had an orange and some a chocolate bar, Galaxy, and a big club and a Kit Kat biscuit.
I do love a Galaxy, me.
Isn't it? The well nice Galaxies.
What do you give it?
Yeah, you know, 10 out of 10, innit? Why not? It's be generous, but well, does the job. I would rather have a hot meal, but it's more.
It's expensive and it's not that great at Towers. So.
And it does the job. Yeah, I've not got any crisps.
And they've now started doing like a proper German show on that stage. So yeah, not a fan of that at all. Playing popular songs in German. I genuinely don't know what's going on at this point. So I guess I'll catch you up with you when we do another ride.
So much later that the old narrator got
In case you couldn't tell from the soundtrack, but it's a bit more distant. We're now leaving the Oktoberfest show, and he's just made me stay there for an hour. Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as when he did it for the football. But yeah, we're going to go to Oblivion now. See you there. We were eating, to be fair. But yeah, see you at Oblivion, guys. Oblivion has seen the test of time and needs to go. Very boring, just one drop, that's it. There's no difference between that and Barry's drop, and we're going inside on the slide now, so speak to you after. But yeah, Oblivion was not that great, to be honest. One of my least favourite thrill coasters ever. Yeah, Baron Akanakanakinen is levels above in terms of both the theming and even the roller coaster layout. Like, Oblivion doesn't need to stay. Don't retrack it, Bianca, if you're watching, please. Like, we literally have big ones drop at Pleasure Beach, which is better, and we have Hyperia's drop, which is the same thing but bigger with a 180-degree twist in it, and we have I Don't Love You Oktoberfest. We have Stealth drop, which is the same but bigger with a 90-degree twist. So Oblivion is so obsolete. You know, it doesn't give anything really. Like, it doesn't need to stay here anymore, and it's one of the least popular rides with the general public as well. So yeah, get rid of it, or at least if you're going to keep it, put the flawless trains on, because I don't like Oblivion trains after doing the flawless trains on Baron. But yeah, we did do the Smiler as well, and like, if you want the front row of the coaster, come with me, because you've got a front row on the Smiler, that's like, which is unbelievable. That's the second front row of the day with the assigned seating. What else? Oh, Nemesis, yeah. Don't like the assigned seating. I think everything should at least have a front row queue. But yeah, the Smiler's very good. Don't know why people say it's rough. Never found it rough. I think we just don't know how to ride it. You gotta sit up straight and lean forward, like keep your head forward. Get what I mean? Sit up straight, keep your head forward. You're absolutely fine. So yeah, Josh has brought us now back to the Oktoberfest show, because we have a wrap time out until 3:30. So yeah, it's 3 o'clock now. So yeah, unfortunately, it's the only thing to pass the time. It's finally now time for our ride on. We're going on Spinball Wizard. First of all, though, we've actually been recognised at Towers for once. We don't tend to get it at Towers because, you know, FastFoodNet and Alton Towers content do not tend to mix very well. Even though, you know, we've had a decent day today for Towers standards. Who knows? You might treat you to a bit of more of Towers content throughout the remainder of this season. Just 1 or 2 videos, like I'll actually upload the Nemesis one because we've had an okay day so far. But shout out to the Marshall family. Can't remember the name of the guy who came over, but he watches the videos. He said he'd been watching me ranting. He didn't say what video, but
any of them.
It's probably a Towers video. He probably thought, oh yeah, I'll check out some FastFoodNet before me Towers trip today. Well, it could have been that, because that is related to Towers, even though it does apply to all the Merlin parks. But I'll put you away now because we're going in a busy area. We're going to go on Spinball Wizard. Before we go on, guys, there's a new single ride queue on Spinball. We could have waited till the end of the season to put it in, or put it in at the end of the closed season last year, so they didn't have to close it for a week to do it, even if it is off peak. But I'm not going to complain or rant a lot about a single rider queue, because I think they're a good tradition. They helped out at Efteling for people, reducing their queue times, and Alton Towers used to have a lot of them, then they started getting rid of them. But yeah, they're good because it means if you're on your own, you get on a bit quicker, you fill any empty seats that are left on a train when they're filling the trains, so it's a good thing to have at parks. Well, Spinball's only filling 3 out of 4 seats on the cart at the moment because it's on and off rain, and apparently Marathon spinning coasters for some reason can't fill 4 seats when it's rain. Like, you'd think they've designed these rides to run in British weather,
so
but
annoying.
clearly not.
Spinball Wizard on ride sim,
But-
so you can only fill 3 people.
However, it turned out it actually worked in our favour because when there's 3 people on the cars, they actually spin more. Obviously, it's really bad for capacity because it's a low capacity ride anyway. But yeah, we were spinning a lot on that ride, like just constantly spinning, like clockwise, I think it was, like round and round. Me and Josh sat opposite each other, and then there was Danielle. But yeah, I do like the new queue setup that they've done. I mean, like, ride access pass and exit are now separated, so like it's now not, you won't get crushed like when there's people getting off it, whatever. Like, it's probably split up. So yeah, I do like it, even if they did like decide to do it mid-season instead of waiting or just doing it last year. I believe they did something similar with Octonauts as well, which we don't go on, but I don't think that was for a single ride queue. I think that was for some other sort of refurbishment. But I know there was just a time a few weeks ago when they had them both closed at the same time. So yeah, not great mid-season when, like, it's not like Efteling where at Disney where they operate all year round, have to close
it would have been
rides.
It's better if they wait. Yeah, like they waited till.
to stop, you know, circus and clothes.
We're on about exchanging towers to be a year-round park, but like, I personally think that would be a disaster. They need to get on top of some maintenance before they shift to that, I think. But I just don't think it'll work at all here because, I mean, Efteling is, just to give it context, that's a year-round park, and from my experience there, the ride availability there is better than an average day here. But yeah, as I said, today's been okay. I'm not sure where we're going next, probably Dark Forest, but I'll catch up with you wherever we go. Those of you who watched the 2022 vlog from Alton Towers will know that this is my least favourite ride on park. Did I even say that? Well, if I didn't, then now you know. This is Hex, and this has been closed for the best part of 2 hours. So anyone who complained about Valhalla's reimagining, think again, because I meant 2 years. This ride has been closed for 2 years, so anyone who complained about Valhalla's reimagining and the fact it didn't open for 3 seasons, when they had to do that over COVID, these lot at Towers have had no excuse, because this has been closed since, well, I think about the last, since 2023, and then there's been no COVID, so they've had no excuse to get this ready. Honestly, I don't want them to bring this back. They obviously are going to. They're adamant that they're going to open it in autumn, even though Bianca said at the start of the year, summer. I just don't like madhouses. If you watch the Efteling vlog, you'll know how much I hated Villa Volta there, which was the world's first, which is even less than this. I just don't think they're a very interesting ride system. They all have multiple pre-shows that are way too long. Yeah, I just don't like madhouses. Rip it down and put a trackless dart ride in there like Symbolica, or, you know, a flying dart ride, or Droomflux, or just any other dart ride, because like, Hex, it's just awful, mate. It's boring. I know it tells like a true story in that, but you could convey that story in a more exciting way than with the Vekoma Madhouse. So since I filmed this vlog, Alton Towers have announced that Hex will be reopening on the first day of Scarefest on the 11th of October. Why? Why, Bianca? Just what? Why? Something that does need to open though, and needs to be a priority over the awful ride back that way, is the Sky Ride, because that's also been closed 2 seasons, which is completely unacceptable from an accessibility standpoint, because some areas of this park are 15-minute walks away from each other, and some people are going to struggle with that, you know, accessibility wise, if they don't have any kind of leg, you know, difficulties or back problems, whatever, or, you know, they utilise a mobility scooter, wheelchairs and stuff. Like, Alton Towers is a really hilly park, so this needs to be absolute top priority over Hex for sure, even though, like, I know I'm biased, but still needs to get sorted. So hopefully we are actually going to see this back for March next year. It does look like they're doing work though, like they've done been plenty of updates people have been posting across this season, so I am hopeful that Bianca recognises the need to get this back. We will be seeing it very soon.
Hopefully.
Guys, you cannot make this up. The tent is up. So basically, there was a joke on Twitter a few weeks ago, and I don't personally like Twitter as a platform, but this was quite funny, right? People were putting pictures of this up saying the tent is up, trying to trick people. We're near Dark Forest, by the way, for context, who only knew about the one that's being used to house Compound near Forbidden Valley behind Curse, which wasn't up yet. But then, like, apparently they hadn't finished the maze design for the maze that was supposed to go in here in time, which was meant to be like another intense maze for this year's Scarefest. So they're not using this for Scarefest, but it's just sat here doing absolutely nothing, like Ice Blast and River Caves at Pleasure Beach. It's just SB&O. But then, like, they designed Compound in time, even though, like, the maze, like the building of the maze was like behind schedule. I don't understand it. Yeah, Bianca, if you're watching, like, I don't know, I'm very confused about this one, but hopefully you can let us know next year, like, what was meant to be in here. But yeah, basically apparently this is the rumour. Instead they kept the attic up in the towers. Well, we know that's up for definite because it's coming back, and B, people who did the tour of the towers had to go through the attics to get to part of it. So we knew in June that was still set up there, so that's when people kind of started to speculate it was coming back. But there's rumours that's only coming back because this maze isn't finished, and they just kept it there just in case they wouldn't be able to get this done in time, and they didn't get it done in time. So hopefully we will be seeing something in this tent. Survival Games 3.0 at this point, because there's one obviously near Curtis as well for Scarefest 2025.
Is this tent going to stay up all year next year?
I've no idea, Josh. And as Justin Fletcher behind me is asking people, has anyone bid on X ride for every single ride in the park? Well, Alton Towers today, I've got to admit, before I came here today, I was not excited at all. I was very, very nervous with some of the things I've been hearing about ride availability and just, you know, lack of staff, and just I've heard all sorts about this place, and none of it's been good over the past few months. You know, no staff in some of the entrances checking kids' heights for going on the roller coasters, and just, you know, yay! Has anyone been on Oblivion today? We have, and it wasn't very good. But honestly, like, I think, you know, we just got lucky with the crowds or what, because I've really enjoyed today. It's been one of the best Towers visits I've had in a very long time. There has been some ride technical problems with Wicker Man and stuff, but it's not been as noticeable as normal. So whether that's because we just got lucky or just the park's had a good day, I don't know, probably a bit of both. And also with the crowds, normally Saturday is very problematic for crowds. Like, it just gets so busy here. And the queue times have shown that today, but I think we've just gone a different way to the crowds, because we seem to have, like, avoided a lot of them. And then the ride access pass queues, I do think that this pre-booking system has made a little bit of a difference on some rides, notably the Smiler, and apart from that, I'm not sure, Rita possibly, but I don't think it's enough of a difference to justify what they're doing. As it's very unfair, as I've mentioned in several videos. And what they've done now is they've actually released the wrap slots for next March, which is completely disgusting. So that'll probably get another video at some point for this park. So, like, yeah, like Merlin, like Bianca, this needs sorting out. I know it's not a tower specific problem, but obviously I'm bringing it up in this vlog because it affects this park. We actually haven't been on 13 today. But that's another thing as well. Apparently they've changed the rack queue on that to now go through where there's a Tesla coil, which I also think is not very good, because, you know, sensory and that. And it's the same with the Smiler queue being in the strobe room. They need to do something about that. I know it's been like that for years, but it's not accessible, that, for people with epilepsy and stuff. You may be in that rack queue, I think, and just any sensory related disability. I think the other issue with RAP, which is contributing to the RAP queues being long, and that is they're being too generous with some of the times. It seems to get better as the day go on, but sometimes they were just knocking too much off. You should put as much on the card as the main queue is being advertised
Feels like something you
as.
shouldn't complain about that, but obviously, like, you want it to be fair for everyone, and at the end
Exactly.
of the day, so it's like, oh, maybe that's a bit.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So that it then inflates the rat queue lengths and then say,
You'd rather
oh, we're
have a
going to put a
2 hour queue.
pre-booking system
Yeah.
in place to limit the number of people who have it to make it short. It just doesn't.
You'd rather have a 2 hour queue than not go at all,
Exactly.
because you can't get booked because you're disabled.
At the end of the day, if there's long rat queues, yes, it's a problem, but there's ways around that. You can go to a ride that's perhaps quieter and come back later. Whereas with this system at the moment, you're just excluding everyone from the park who has rats, so then they can't do any rides at all. I'd love to visit here more. I wanted to visit more here this year, but this pre-booking system at the moment is a nightmare, because I've actually enjoyed this park this year, ironically, more than normal. Regardless of everything that's been said, I think it's just pot luck, but this park can be very good when it wants to be. You know, I'm not trying to be like a Towers bashing channel or anything. I'll always be constructive as I can, and it's just sometimes this park really annoys me, and Merlin does with this pre-booking system. But today, like, there's not much to complain about at all. I think the park has operated pretty well from what I've seen, considering everything I've heard.
Someone check his
But-
temperature. I'm joking.
Anyway, speaking of the rat pre-booking system, make sure you go and check out this video on the right side of your screen to hear everything I have to say about why I think that's completely disgusting on Merlin's part. And for more things theme park related in the UK and beyond, click the icon in the centre of your screen to subscribe. I'm Ben, you've been watching FastFoodNet.
Sorry, I'll see you.
Goodbye.